Hello everyone, it's Leela, and I thought we would do something a little bit different today and sit down at my photo card trading slash journaling desk and talk a little bit about my bullet journal, how I got into it, how I use mine, and what I plan to do for 2022. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hello everyone, welcome to my desk. So for the format of this video, it's probably going to be a little bit longer, a little bit chatty. I might ramble a bit, so please understand. I think I will break up the video into different sections. So the sections I'm thinking of is one, talking about how I got into bullet journaling as a hobby, and part of like my philosophy around how I use it personally for my hobby, to talk a little bit about the materials and the pens and the books and things that I use for my journal, and then flip through my 2021 Kpop bullet journal, and then start by going through what I've set up so far for my 2022 Kpop bullet journal. So grab some tea if you haven't. I have some here, as you can see, and apologies ahead of time for my band-aid. I scraped my finger, but I didn't want to put off recording this because I had planned on it this weekend, so apologies ahead of time for that. So to start, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I even got into the hobby, which is a bit of a strange one, but I thought it would be fun to discuss because I had a very non-traditional entrance into the hobby, and also I have a very non-traditional philosophy about the hobby. So I definitely don't use my journal in the way that a lot of other people do, from what I've seen. And I thought because of that, I would like to talk about it a little bit and share with everyone, just in case you enjoy hearing how I use my journal or find it inspirational, and just to talk a little bit about like the positive sides that I've found in using the journal as a hobby, and not necessarily as a productivity tool. So I got into bullet journaling in early 2021 after having seen a video from a YouTuber that I follow that makes videos about K-pop collecting. So they had kind of shown that they make a bullet journal, and they had like some lists of songs that had come out, and shows they were watching and things like that. And that was the first time I had ever even heard of the concept of bullet journaling, or what it was or anything like that, was just through someone kind of showing off and flipping through one of their journals that was primarily focused about like hobbies and things like that. And so after seeing that, it kind of got in my head, well, maybe that's something that I could do. Maybe that's something that would be fun for me as an extension of my hobby as a K-pop fan. Because if you don't know, my primary hobby has been for the past couple of years K-pop. And I'm a bit of an older K-pop fan. I'm not a teenager. I'm not in my 20s. I'm an adult K-pop fan, and I have had a lot of various hobbies throughout my life, whether it's gaming or art, graphic design, anything like that. And I tend to, whenever I get into something as a hobby, I want to be able to not just participate in it passively, if that makes sense. I like to make it my own and do something creative with that outlet of my hobby. So whenever I was more into games than I am now, I would make videos about them, I would make podcasts, things like that, share my thoughts about the games I was playing and things like that, or TV shows. I've even done those. But in the last few years, I kind of got into K-pop and K-dramas and things like that, and not really wanting to necessarily be a content creator for K-pop. There are other people that do those sorts of things, and I think they do a really good job of it, but that's just not really for me as much, I think. So I saw this and I was like, oh, that's a really interesting way to, participate in a hobby and to be a little bit creative with how you participate in it, and also to do something analog. Like, I've been really wanting to get into a hobby that is off of the computer because I work at home, I work on my PC all day long, and whenever I want to do something for fun and for myself, I don't want to sit at my desk, or at least not my computer desk. As you've seen, I have a separate desk in my office that's just for journaling and photo card trading and the other things that I do that, are a bit more tactile and analog, and I really enjoy those things. What I did was I bought little cute pink journal on Amazon for like $8. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I had some pens that I owned already, Crayola markers and just regular ballpoint pens and things like that. I had gotten a pack of very cheap gel pens from a dollar store and was like, you know what, maybe I'll try this out and see how I feel about it at the beginning of 2021, not knowing anything other than what I had seen in a single video about how someone had done it. So it's important to say that because it's not something that I went into knowing how other people use the hobby or how it was originally intended at all. So I 100% went into this for almost a full year with no interest or knowledge of how other people use their journals, or like the things that you see on Pinterest and things like that. I just was kind of like happily in my little bubble and without knowing much about what other people do, which I think actually was really good for me because I got to kind of figure out the way I want to do it and what I like. But then as I've done it more, I've started to get into looking at other people's bullet journal videos, learn more about the hobby from people on YouTube. Over my holiday break, I actually read the Bullet Journal Method book by Ryder Carroll to learn a little bit about like how bullet journaling, was created and what it was intended for, to see if I could pick up things and learn from other people in ways that might help me in what I do or might expand on what I do. So rather than going into it like a lot of people do go into a new hobby, and before they even begin, they do all their research and they read the book and they think if there's a right way to do it and they want to begin from that right way of doing things. I just did it the air quotes wrong way for a really long time, and now have in reflection over the past year learned more about how other people do it, and through that have hopefully I plan on kind of leveling up what I do with my journal as a hobby, if that makes sense. Not changing the way I do what I do, but just kind of leveling it up with some inspiration from creators that make videos about their journals, and also having learned from reading this book, which I really enjoyed. And it was a great read. I read it really quickly. I highly recommend it. And I wanted to say too that, reading this book and learning from it doesn't mean you have to do things exactly the way that he outlines it. You can always learn and take it from it what works for you and what doesn't. And that's awesome. So for the next part, I'd like to talk a little about my philosophy for my journal and how I've used it in the past and how I continue to use it going forward. In that, for me, my hobby journal, my Kpop journal, is very much an extension of my hobby and my outside of work activities. And for work, I keep a separate planner. This one is quite dirty because, again, I used it for a whole year. And as you can see here, I kind of, in my monthly spreads in my regular journal, I tend to write down like who's having a comeback. This is from 2021, on which day, so I know what to check out. And then a couple of work-related things here and there. Then, without showing too much personal information or work-related information, I kind of keep really rough weekly spreads that have a lot of my tasks in them. And I've been doing this for my work-related planning and just day-to-day scheduling for several years. This was my everyday work planner for 2021. Starting in 2019, I got this cool Ryan planner. And then in 2021, again. So I have used and really enjoyed using regular monthly and weekly planners for work-related activities. So I keep lists of what I'm doing each week. I keep a monthly overview of things that are going on at work and outside of work, so comebacks and things like that that I want to check out. And that has worked really well for me, and I continue to do that, and I plan to continue to do that into 2022 as well. This is my 2022 planner, partially because for me, keeping work-life balance means keeping work and life, which is my hobbies and fun things, separate as much as you can, which really helps me. And that also, again, keeps my journaling just for fun stuff and for hobbies and things that are going on in my life that I look forward to. And as I mentioned after having read this book, that I took away from it a lot of really good note-taking techniques to use in my regular planner for rapid logging and weekly tasks, and for marking things off as finished or migrated. I think that stuff was really helpful for me, and it's stuff that I can use even in just a regular planner without going a full bullet journal for my day-to-day. Partially also because I'm an extremely visual person. So for me, the passage of time is a calendar. It's a visual calendar with the squares, and that helps me visualize time for a month, and then from week to week for day to day, various boxes for day to day. I need that to get the sense of time for when something is happening. And in the basic bullet journal method that he creates, there isn't really that visual layout. It's more of an ongoing running list of things that might be better for people who aren't as visually focused as someone like myself. And I also think other people like myself who are very visual learners for like how time is, like a calendar to me, it's my whole life. I've used it, and it helps me understand like how many days I have until something is due or something like that. Is why I think often people in their bullet journals end up creating spreads that look much like a regular planner with a monthly calendar or a weekly, calendar with boxes that, again, are often beautiful or often creative, but do function very similarly to a regular planner. So to start out, as I mentioned, I bought an $8 bullet planner off of Amazon and had some regular pens, highlighters, and some Crayola markers that I used to get started with. As I've grown my journal, I've added more supplies to what I use to kind of decorate and write in my journal. So I thought I would show those to you, a little bit of what I use. So that you know. I have a set of watercolor brush pens that I've been trying to use and learn how to do calligraphy and writing. It has been a fun endeavor, but it is quite challenging, and is something that I have found myself shying away from using the brush pens. I also have this brush lettering workbook that I've used to learn different styles of fonts, and I often refer back to it when I'm creating something to see like what type of font I might want to copy, and then just refer to this and then practice and create the word that I'm wanting to write out on a separate piece of paper, and then sketch it into the journal and then put it in with the pen. So that's what I've done. I also have some Micron Sakura, I think they're called, pens. These are so nice for black ink. I think everyone swears by them, rightfully so. These are really great. I got the mild liner highlighters, which are really pretty pastels and are really nice. Everyone swears by these as well, correctly so. I got some of these Stabilo fine point felt markers in lots of different colors. These are good for small lettering that's in color. Lately I've been loving the jelly roll pens. I have some in neons, I have various glitters and metallics, I have some black and white ones. I love the glitter and metallic text, as you'll see as we do a flip through. It's very much my aesthetic. I'm not the neutrals and floral pastel as much aesthetic as a lot of other bullet journalers. Mine's very much like Lisa Frank, if she could made journals. And I also got some Archer and Olive pens, gel pens recently, which I've been loving these as well. Okay, and without any further ado, let's flip through my 2021 journal. As I said, this has been a learning process, and I think I learned something with each new month, and I'll share that as we get through it. This is a minimalism art journal from Amazon. It was very cheap. These are some, you know, ideas for things I can include in my journal, so I taped that in the front. This is my Kpop BS cover page. I started using some blank pages in between my other pages for washi swatches, partially because, as you'll see with this journal, I learned pretty early on that the ink bleeds through the pages, which is really unfortunate, and also why I'm moving into a different journal for 2022, even though there's still space left in this one. So because of that bleed through, I often just filled pages in between other pages with washi swatches and things like that. And also, as we go through this, I wanted to talk a little bit about, this was a learning process for me. So I'm showing you things that, like, you know, even I don't think are perfect. So it takes a lot of bravery for me to show you things that I think aren't perfect, so please understand. And like my handwriting, for example, is still pretty rough, but it's gotten so much better than even the beginning of the year. So what I did in this journal is created a monthly spread at the end of each month to go through and write down and rate all the new songs that came out that month, everyone's comebacks, any albums that I bought as part of my album collection, and then any photo card collections that I started or continued, any new merch items, like here I got the Eyes on Light stick, and then my candidates for Song of the Year, so a few of my favorite songs from that month, any concerts in person, which didn't happen, or online, and then any other things that happened in my life that were important. In January of 2021, my cat Nimoy passed away, so this spread kind of has a little memorial for him on it. And this was my first ever spread, and I thought, you know what, this is really neat. Oh, I forgot to mention another thing that I use. I print out a lot of stickers, both on regular sticker paper and this Polaroid Z Ink zip. It prints them out in a Polaroid style, and then it's on a sticker paper. So I use those often throughout my journal. As you see here, it printed on very shiny paper, so that's what I've done here with this picture. And it's a sticker sheet, so it goes right onto the page. So I've really enjoyed using those. More washi swatches, again, to fill space, and also because I have a bit of a problem, I bought a lot of washi. I love it. So February again, comebacks, album collection. This is my first time doing this style where it looks a little bit like Spotify. I thought that, you know, the writing didn't look that nice, but I thought it was a fun idea, so I tried doing that. I don't know if you can see it because it wasn't really good. These were the old, cheaper glitter pens that I had that weren't as nice, and then lots of stickers and things like that. So that was my fun. Again, more washi to fill space. March, this is one of my favorite early spreads that I had done. I liked the theme of this sort of spring And then with various stickers, a section for Machio's birthday, some songs of the year, and then Eyes One concert. So, and then other debuts and album collection stuff. So I really liked how March turned out. And then in the spring, summer, I was watching Kingdom, so I created a spread specifically for Kingdom. It is set up for each of the rounds of the show, and then with the ranking from the actual show, and then my separate personal ranking next to it. Please don't take offense to anything that I put in my journal, it's just my opinions. And again here, I don't know if you can see it as well. There's some of the not very good glitter pens that I used. I liked the block lettering. I thought that was that was good how that turned out. I liked using some funny meme stickers that I have. So yeah, that was a really fun one to maintain throughout the show. And then April, again, another spread that I liked the way that it turned out. Again, the block lettering with some of the line around it I thought turned out really cute, and with the colors of pink and purple that I always really love. And then I drew in my Witsy because I got those that month, and then some more pictures. After school, Song of the Year. This is my April spread. And then in the between April and June, I was watching Produce Japan season 2 a lot. So I made a spread for that with my top 11 before the final episode, and then also my favorite candidate on the show, Anthony, with a little like YouTube video style of his fan cam, and then this funny sticker that I just needed a reason to use it, so don't talk to me or my son ever again. So I used it and just made a cute spread for that, and then highlighted the members that actually made it into the group in the end versus my picks. And so that was a fun spread for Produce. Then May, I think this is one of my favorite spreads in the whole book. I love yellow, and I thought it worked really well. It was kind of themed after BTS is releasing Butter, and also their McDonald's meal, which I didn't love. I don't like McDonald's. Again, album collection, some songs of the year, things like that. And then I created an ongoing spread that kind of went retroactively into all of the K-dramas that I've watched. I had been keeping reviews and like my star rating, like 1 out of 10 or whatever, for all the dramas I'd watched on a blog, but I thought I should move that over into my journal, so I did retroactively, and then added all of these in here with a heart ranking of 1 to 10. And so that's all the dramas for 2018, 2019 that I watched. 2020, and then 2021, and this cute sticker that I loved. I didn't end up watching as many dramas in 2021. I've become more picky, I think. But yeah, those were some of my favorite of the year. June was a really fun spread with a rainbow theme. There was a lot of comebacks that month, so it just was really packed, and also I got a lot of new albums from my collection. I maybe went overboard that month. Let's not talk about that. So yeah, that was June, for June. And then I also created a spread for the Overwatch League season 2021. I really liked how this turned out too. It was the tournament format to show the winners of each of the different tournaments that they had monthly, and then the grand finale, the final winners, and the MVP and Rookie of the Year, and just some cute funny stickers that I had. So I really liked how this turned out too. This was fun. I plan to make another one again if we have an Overwatch League season this year. Maybe Overwatch 2. Let's see. More washi. For the summer, I put together a summer bops spread with some of my favorite summer songs of the year, and used a bunch of cute stickers that I had, and then tried my hand at some drawings, which didn't turn out all that great, but you know what? That's okay. It was cute, and it was an experiment. But this was a fun spread. More washi. And then I did a Disney Binge Fest spread. My intention being to watch as many Disney movies as I can, and also maybe rewatch ones that I have watched a long time ago and don't really remember, or watch some others for the very first time. As you can see, I didn't get very far with it, but this is also something you'll see I've migrated because I didn't get as far with it, but it was a really fun spread to create. I got these really cute princess stickers and used some more washi tape. Again, more washi, out of control washi. July was the Olympics, so I used an Olympic theme for this month with cute pictures of our girls that won the skateboarding final. Yeah. More washi. Again, I'm not getting, I told you I have a problem. This was my first of my K-pop collection tier list. So my tier list I've kept in a written form for a while just to keep it in my head straight, how I feel about different groups and where they are in my collection and my philosophy around collecting each of them. So this tier list is just very personal. This isn't like a, you know, a slight against anyone who isn't on this list or anything. This is just my personal opinion. So across the top, my alt groups, the ones that I consider my alts, and then God tier, A tier, B tier. And then what the tiers mean specifically to me in this tier list is how I collect each of those groups in those tiers. This again was for the middle of the year. This was created in July, so I've changed it, and I'll show you the new one in my new journal. But like for A tier, it's either groups that I collect all of their albums or just most of them. B tier, maybe some of my favorites, but not all. And then also my photo card collections, who all I collect, their photo cards. So that was a really fun spread, and I love neons, so I use the neon pens. More washi. August was again a very, very busy month for comebacks. Look at all that, oh my goodness. And also the beginning of Girls Planet, so that I put a few Girls Planet things in here, and yeah. Here I also had some extra space, so I started doing pen swatches for my whole pen collection for this journal. I've recreated it in my new journal because my new journal has a different color of paper. This one is a little bit more warm toned. My new journal is very cool toned. So this was September, my birthday month, so I went crazy with the pinks and my favorite colors and all that fun stuff. And then my ice cream that I had for my birthday, it was so good. So yeah, it was just a really fun, obnoxious spread, and I love it. Again, more pen swatches in those pages between. As you can see here, it really demonstrates the ghosting on this particular journal that became a problem, and again, part of the reason why I moved into a new journal. So this was October and spooky themed, and it showed us in our Halloween costumes, and then also the Girls Planet finale where we got Kepler. And then extending off of that, Girls Planet finale, my final top 9 and Bo's final top 9. I didn't do as much as far as spreads for Girls Planet in here because we were making YouTube videos, so I was already talking a lot about it, how I felt about it, so I didn't need to make much in my journal. Then I also experimented with doing a black page of just getting some black paper and writing on it in white pens for the movies that I saw in 2021. So I only saw 4 movies in theaters, but hey, that was better than the year before, in which I had saw 0. So that was cute and fun to make, to experiment with some different colored paper. November, this is one of my favorite spreads. I really love the way it turned out. I started experimenting more with layering washi and doing like rough edges instead of the clean edges, which is a style that a lot of people do that I think is really pretty. And then also you can see that it's like lots of golds and bronze and everything like that. So I thought that turned out really pretty. And then also experimenting with different paper, doing paper inserts, and things like that. So yeah. And then the last month for December of 2021, I did a Christmassy theme, and with this really cute village washi tape down here that has a snowy village. I love that. And then my ticket and memorabilia for my trip to Disneyland and from seeing BTS, which I got to do in December, which was wonderful. And then just some cute stickers and things. So, and that comes to the end of my 2021 journal. Again, the ghosting, it's pretty egregious, right? But again, this was an $8 journal. It was an experiment to see if I would even like it. And I learned a lot throughout doing it, and it was a really fun start to the hobby. So for my 2022 journal, I am using an Archer and Olive journal, which, yes, I fell into the influencer hype, and I don't regret it. They're not lying. These journals are so nice. So the journal I got was from their Holiday Messy and Bright gift box, which comes with a neon green journal, which you can see through here, a pink glitter, like it moves around journal cover. Or journal. Oh, there's my phone. Hi, phone. That you put her on the outside, and it's just so loud and obnoxious and so me. Like, this is just so me. It's like they made it just for me. So I love it, and it comes with this little snap. So this is the beginning of my Archer and Olive journal journey. Now let's do a flip through of what I have set up so far. So these are yearly spreads and collections that I've moved over from the other journal into the new one so that I can retire the other journal and just be using this one from here on out. Because I generally only do a monthly spread for my K-pop catch-up, this will last me way more than just 1 year, which is totally fine. I intend to keep this for a long time. So this is my cover page. As you can see here, it kind of mimics the sticker that I had created for my other cover page and some various washies. This spread is my best of 2021 spread. It's really, really busy, but you know what? I actually like that. A lot of people in the bullet journaling community are very aesthetic and very minimalist, and I am the complete opposite. I am a maximalist, fill every inch with something noise, and I kind of just love it that way. So it's my 21 best songs, 21 best albums, best debuts, choreo, music videos. As you can see here, it's I used gold and silver pens. Can you see the best is glittery? There you go. Isn't it pretty? I love glitter, everyone, if you haven't noticed. And then various printed out stickers. And yeah, that was really fun to create. It's very busy, but I love it. And as I mentioned, my tier list from the other journal has been migrated and updated. So this is my as of 2022 January tier list. So I expanded a bit on it, and I'm really, really proud of how this turned out. And I'm really, really proud of these pages. I worked really hard on them. It took me a really long time. I have leveled up my lettering skills, as you can see, and I'm just really proud of it. And this, what I did was I went through each of my alts. I have 8 of them that I consider my alts, and wrote about them, wrote a bit about what I love about them, how I collect them. So you can, I'll lift this up so you can see, like how I collect their albums, and who my biases are, with some stickers that I printed out of pictures of them, my favorite songs, my favorite albums, and just why I love them. So I'm really proud of this spread, and I love it. And then this goes over into the other tiers of my tier list. After alt tier is God tier, which is essentially alt but by another name. Goes through kind of, again, a little bit of why I love them and doing the logos, and then my photo card collections and how I collect each person in each group. So the group name, the person, and what I collect, so I can kind of keep that documented. Some people I collect albums, some not, some everything. And then A tier, change that up a little bit to be groups that I have a full collection for, and then groups that I have a selective collection for, which is to say I don't buy everything, but I buy most. And then full collection, I buy everything from that person. And then B tier, other groups that I really like, and I own some albums for them, but don't necessarily intend to intentionally collect, more just buy their albums whenever I like them a lot. So that's the extension of my tier list. And then next we go over to my new for 2022 goals and wish list spreads. Some of the more personal information hidden, sorry about that. As you can see, it's glittery and green themed because I had this Kermit sticker that I wanted to use. So I used that and then experimented with using different colors of sticker and paper for these headers. And then lists of some of my collection goals, things that I want to happen, groups I want to see live and in person in concert, maybe not just in 2022, but ever. And then, you know, some tattoo ideas and various life goals, some of it personal, some just related to my collection. So I really love the way this turned out. I liked the layering of the washi tape. I loved the way the lettering worked. I love the color scheme. I'm just so proud of this. I thought it was so cute and I'm so happy with it. And then next is my spread for Disney Mirrorverse. It's a game that I play. This is my progression tracker for all of the characters in the game that I have, each of the various milestones that I need to meet for each of them, progression in the game's story mode and all of that, that I will continue to fill up these bars as I play the game. I thought that was really cute. It's one of the games I'm playing more frequently, so I thought I would keep a nice tracker of it. And it turned out really cute. That extends over here for more room to grow for that game because it'll continue to grow. And then here you saw in my other journal, my Disney Binge Fest that I didn't complete in 2021. I've migrated it over here and spread it out a little bit and recreated it, and I think it turned out really, really nice. Still using the same system and the same check marks. I got the really cute princess stickers, and will continue to work on my goal of watching all of these Disney movies. And then also for 2022, I created a watch list spread for various TV shows, dramas that I watch, and movies so that I can write them each down, give them a scoring. I haven't completed any TV shows, movies, or dramas yet this year, but I'll fill this in as I go. I included some of the things I'm looking forward to, like we just started watching the Boba Fett show, so I drew Boba T Fett, so that's really cute. And then looking forward to Doctor Strange, and then I'm currently watching Let Me Be Your Knight, so that's one that I put in here in the corner. So I'll fill out this area with the shows and dramas and things that I watched throughout this year, maybe next year. It could take a while to fill this out. But yeah, I thought it turned out really cute. And another spread idea I saw online from some bullet journal YouTubers that I really liked the idea of is a 21 good things in 2021. So I did a nice little collection to go in this journal of things that some fit into the other journal, some were outside of the other journal, that were little things that happened throughout the year that made me happy, that didn't necessarily fit into just my K-pop journal or just my collections. And so I really liked that. So like Boyfriend Dungeon, if you don't know Jorts, look it up, the orange kitty cat, and then Charlie, another orange kitty cat that I love. our droid that we built at Disneyland, R2QT. We got to go to brunch for the first time in 2021 after not going for like a year. Seeing BTS, we grew some succulents and some sunflowers. We had some bird nests and we did a nest cam, and we had 2 doves born in our backyard. So that was a really nice thing for 2021. So things like this is what I really want to use this journal for, and to kind of keep it in here, just little things that make me happy. That's the purpose of this. It's not about productivity for me. It's really about like reflecting on things that make me happy and good things in my life and my collections and my hobbies, to just keep really positive. And then, as I mentioned in the back of this journal, because the paper color is different, I redid my pen swatches for all the different pens that I have. And that goes over to those brush pens as well, which is really nice because I have so many Jelly Roll pens that will have the same color of lids. So it's nice to keep track of like what's what, and which is the glitter, which is the metallic, which is pastel, things like that. So that's it for my setup for 2022 bullet journal, the spreads I've created thus far that'll be used throughout the year. And then I continue to plan on doing monthly spreads at the end of each month, and then maybe some more spreads that are around a certain topic, like I did in my other journal. So like Kingdom had its own spread. So, you know, Island 2 maybe would have a spread, or if they do Queendom 2 and things like that, doing its own spread, I think I'll continue with. And then I'm also, you know, learning a lot from other YouTubers and things for ideas for spreads. And I'm really excited to use this journal this year, and I hope you enjoyed this very, very long discussion about my journal, how I use it, and I hope that you're inspired, hopefully. And please leave me a comment if you enjoyed it, what you enjoyed about the journal, if you do journaling yourself, how you do it, and yeah, thank you for watching.